everyone? We're getting some hot takes in here. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. I hope you give this channel a chance. You know what? Sometimes I'm a little too crazy. Sometimes I spitball. Honestly, people can chirp, people can say shit. I just like to spitball and throw out ideas. And honestly, how cool, how unreal would it be for Patrick Kane and Austin Matthews to play together? If it's not now, at some point in the future, I'm just going to talk about it because I've seen, Leaf fans always like to speculate, always like to throw out a big idea. So again, if you're a new subscriber, welcome. Hit that like button. It does really help the channel a lot. And drop your comments on any big scenario with Patrick Kane or the Leafs. Patrick Kane, Matthews, two of the best Americans in the league right now, and probably will go down as two of the better Americans all time. Imagine them playing together. And there's also other, the connects, like Patty Kane and Marner, London Knights, Tavares in there as well. I just imagine a top power play of Patty Kane, Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Riley, or Nylander in there as well. It'd be psychotic. It'd be nuts. I honestly don't know who would go back in the trade with Chicago, but maybe it's one of those things where the Leafs just waited out and Austin Matthews fronts a big presentation and tries to recruit Patrick Kane in free agency. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I mean, if you're Patrick Kane and you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs lacking playoff success, Patrick Kane has tons of playoff success, tons of playoff scoring, and has the cups with the resume. So I think if you're Patrick Kane, you at least consider long-term playing with a guy like Austin Matthews. And if it's not a guy like Austin Matthews, that's why Oilers fans, and there's been speculation on Patrick Kane going to a team like Edmonton. Imagine Patty Kane with a Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. Then other teams involved, we've talked about the Buffalo Sabres, his hometown team. Again, if he went to a team like Toronto, that's pretty close to where he's from. And we've also talked about the New York Rangers potentially going after a Patrick Kane. So Rangers, Sabres, Oilers, Leafs, Stars now in that conversation. There's a bunch of teams that would go after Patrick Kane, whether it's through a trade or free agency. But it's dream territory to think about a Patrick Kane scenario playing with Austin Matthews. Even if you think this is a stupid idea, that's something that would be insanely cool. And I've talked even about, for example, say Patrick Kane being from the New York area, being from Buffalo. What if he looked at New Jersey on the up and coming and said, wow, let's play with an American like Jack Hughes? So I'm just spitballing ideas here. I think Patrick Kane has a real opportunity here I think he still has so much left in the tank to go play with another American-born player in potentially a big market. And that's why I'm suggesting Toronto here, just in the sense that a team that lacks so much playoff success could bring in a guy like Patty Kane in that resume and play with the best American, I would say, in the league right now, in Austin Matthews. Obviously, we'll see what Jack Eichel does with the Vegas Golden Knights. But it's going to be interesting. I think Hawks fans will be really upset to see Patty Kane go, to see Johnny Taves go, and see what happens with that whole scenario. But I do think it's an interesting conversation. It's going to be one of those things where I think the Hawks can get a lot more assets if they retain 50% on Patty Kane. And I think, honestly, to make the deal happen, it probably has to be that. It would be really disappointing and underwhelming if the Hawks didn't trade Patty Kane and then lost him for nothing in free agency. I think that would be the biggest gut punch ever. So if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, I would consider not doing this as a trade. I would consider having Austin Matthews as the big point of recruitment in the offseason. As I've already talked about, guys, go check out the videos. I think a team like the Oilers, a team like the Rangers would make sense to trade. I think teams like the Sabres, and the Leafs would make more sense to go after free agency. The Leafs have done too many moves and then lose the guys for nothing. Like the Foligno one, that one's going to be just disturbing for a while. And then the Patty Marleau one to get rid of that contract. So, you've lost assets. I don't think there's any need. Chicago would definitely be asking for Matthew Knies the same way they asked for Matthew Knies in the Fleury trade. And honestly, I think if the Leafs included Matty Knies in that trade, Marc-Andre Fleury could be a Toronto Maple Leaf today. I honestly believe that. I think that was the sticking point in that trade. So if they were to go after a Patty Kane with 50% retained, Matthew Knies will definitely be in that deal, I would expect. And I don't want that. Honestly, I think the smart way to go about it is Patty Kane or not, that's a dream fantasy thing. I think you take your chances potentially in free agency. Matthew Knies with Matthews and Marner could be a real scenario in the next year or two. So let me know what you guys think on a Patty Kane to going to a big market. I've talked about Buffalo lately. I've talked about Rangers. I've talked, as I said, Oilers And maybe Toronto's in that conversation once he reaches free agency. So hit that subscribe button. As I said, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream.